don't have to kick it. You don't have to kick the car, all right?
Everything's falling apart on this. Look at that.
That's not falling apart. You have to think
How
about...
How much did you give for this bloody thing?
This
because you've been ripped off.
This is £17,000 of the finest Supra in the UK. This was the cheapest one that I could find, and it belonged to some, well actually it belonged to a younger guy, but before him it belonged to some old lad who, there's like a picture of him somewhere going to like a supermarket, and you see him, his bags are always up here. So every time he comes out of the supermarket, on the roof of the car, and that's why it's only one side.
Well, apart from how it looks, it's actually a pretty cool car.
Well, this is the fun of this car. This car is kind of affectionately known as the scuffed Supra. On the outside, let's be real, it's a bit of a piece of shit, but that's sort of the vibe that we were going for. The old school sleeper. Well, it's quite hard to make a Supra into a sleeper, isn't it? But Supra.
Supra is a Supra, isn't it? Exactly, yeah. People know what it is. But it's come a long way. When you first bought this, I remember I did take the piss out of it. I may have hurt your feelings a little bit.
Yeah, we used to have these amazing wheel rims called the Aces, and no idea really where they were. Do you still have them, the Aces?
No, even the scrap man wouldn't take them. They were that bad.
When it came in, it is a 5-speed, non-turbo, so it's a 2JZ GE, which made, we actually went to the effort of dynoing it to see how much horsepower it made. It made 214 horsepower. So, you know, I literally had the moment where I stopped for fuel in this thing after I picked it up, and some kid's like, oh, what's the fastest you got in this? I'm like, about 65, mate. So, yeah, not the fastest thing in the world, but we, well, immediately did the thing, like, no, we're not going to make it into a race car, and sort of then proceeded to start making it into a race car. We focused mainly on like the underneath and all the geometry and suspension, just to try and get it handling right first. So I forget all the bits on there though. This is one I don't know all the bits for. This is a Sarge bit.
I think I really wanted to get involved in this one with you because it's a story that everyone can relate to, because you're taking a bog standard, quite a base model car, and you're incrementally building it into a complete monster.
People can always relate to building their Supras into monster Sarges. Can always.
But what it wasn't like, here's 100 grand, build me a race car. It wasn't that. You know, and that's why I wanted to get involved in this. So we did bit by bit, we documented it. We did some live videos, which are quite cool.
Yeah, we spent
which I was a bit wary of.
I think about 2.5 hours total time of removing the engine from this and then putting it back in again. It was basically like watching a man, Sarge, direct a child to do very basic things, and then when I turned around and think, yeah, I've done that, he'd sneakily in the background go and redo it to make sure.
And when he wasn't doing that, he was eating stuff. So I guess part of the things we here like to do is build unusual cars, and this was a good idea because it was using up a lot of the parts we have here. We could bring stuff in and collaboratively do stuff on this car. So I think we enjoyed making this car.
Yeah, I mean, my background is I'm massively into circuit racing, so I'm not really into drag racing, not really into drifting, although we did drift this car, get into that later on. But I wanted to make this into like a track day / kind of fast track car, which there aren't many Supras built that way, because let's be honest, they're a bit heavy, and it's much more appealing just to put 1 billion horsepower into it and have that little fun, you know, squirt down the street. This is more for corners, so we focused on that mainly. So completely new arms down the bottom. Who were they from? The arms? Are they Summit ones?
You've got a range of Summit parts. You've got a range of hard Ritz adjustable arms and wishbones. You've got a CAS diff. So all the work that was done underneath first. We went for HKS coilovers again, like the Skyline, because they work fantastically well.
We installed those at the circuit.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, we tried doing. We took this to the circuit with stock suspension and the skinniest tyres that exist, and it was awful. I'm not going to lie to you. It was like driving a boat. So immediately we changed over to these, whatever these wheels are. I don't know. We actually found these in Sarge's parts room, just lying about. It's like, got any wheels? And just walked in there, took them out, put them on the car, done. But we did that, went back out on circuit again, transformed it. It was amazing, just a suspension and tyres.
Every session we've gone bigger and better. So we've got the diff, we've done new suspension, we've got wheels. We'll talk about the brakes in a bit. Shall we have a look under the bonnet?
Yeah, well, we started to run out of handling things to do, unfortunately, because there's only so much you can do. So we had to address that mighty 214 horsepower.
So it looks a bit different now. Have you seen this recently?
Not for a while actually.
Well, there's a big thing there which wasn't there before.
Oh, what's that do? Is that air conditioning, is it? Okay, nice. So yeah, so it's a big difference now. So gone to a single turbo setup with, it's still the GE engine, as we've proudly got our little sticker on the side there. But it is turbo, and turboed to a point where we think it's like a nice amount of power. We haven't gone crazy with it.
That's again one of the things, like we said with the Skyline, we sat down, we looked at what you wanted, and we came up with a plan. 450 was a target, and that's real usable power. We want response, we don't want lag, and it's all got to work in harmony, isn't it? With the gearbox, we're not going to be breaking that. We're going to have a clutch that's usable, cooling that's going to support it. So it all has to be there. Otherwise, we put massive turbo with loads of power and we break everything else. It's pointless.
On a racetrack, it's super easy to get hot out there. Obviously, I think people sometimes don't understand that road cars are made to run at a certain temperature and a certain speed the entire time. You start going outside these extreme windows, they're going to start getting a little bit unhappy. So we've got a couple of creative solutions. First of all, not so creative, a couple of electric fans in the back of the radiator here, and it's a big fat intercooler down the bottom. You had to heat up the bumper to move it down slightly to get about what space.
I know you wanted to keep the scuffed bumper as it was, so we sort of opened up the mouth and try to get more air through there, yeah.
And our very secret one is that on track days we just take the headlight out, because that's just a massive, I mean, it doesn't do great for aero, but to be honest we haven't got that much aero anyway, and I'd rather have a lot more air going into the turbo. Nice cool intake temperature, a bit more power, a bit happier. So as yet it's actually untested on a circuit with this exact layout, but we did get a very small run in a couple of months ago at Donington.
Yeah.
Before the cooling upgrades, and even then it was pretty rapid. It was harrying some fast cars.
Yeah, I think we're nearly there. It's always with a new build, it's going to take 1 or 2 sessions, learn from that, make some adjustments. So I think we're progressing to plan. And it's an engine we don't normally work on. As you know, we specialise in Evos, Subaru Skylines, but I've quite enjoyed doing the 2J. We've learnt a lot through this one, and it's come out well, so I'm really happy with it, and hopefully we can do more of these going forward.
Yeah, well, I just figured that, Cyrus hasn't got enough parts for this, so what I would do is bring this car in, destroy it, so now he's got a nice, healthy stock of 2J parts as well. So I'm helping you out, mate.
Thank you very much.
Business.
Yeah, give me lots of problems, yes. But no, so far so good. So we're on to this one. What else have we built, Jimmy? We've worked on your 35 GTR.
35, yeah, which is that's a couple of little bits in it, exhaust and intake. Nothing too massive, but a nice little change. We have the Impreza, GC8 Impreza. That's probably my favourite car to drive. I've ever actually bought it from here. That's been probably my most reliable car as well.
Yeah, and Subarus always get a bad press online, don't they?
I don't know how, it's for the most fun, and I think that that horsepower that runs is perfect for the road. Basically, any of my cars come here. I don't go anywhere else now. It's the thing for me that is important is having someone I can trust to do all this stuff, and someone's going to tell me like it is, And I think that all started with the Skyline when Sarge told me don't go for this power, you're not going to enjoy it. It was more of I could get more money out of you here, but I'm not going to. We're going to actually do this properly. And ever since then, this has been the place I come. I live like 90 minutes from here, but I always make sure to come here with the cars.
And we give them lots of burgers.
Yeah, that's it. The £4 chicken burger is definitely worth all of this.
No, we appreciate it. I think I've enjoyed our relationship. We've grown up with this over the last few years together, haven't we? Lots of ideas, and I think we're on the same wavelength. We've got the same taste, whether good or bad, with cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we've got the same passion, and I'm learning a lot. In fact, having been out with you in the car a couple of times on track, I'm quite impressed, and I think you're going to go far, mate.
We're going to take him out when this is all okay. We're going to take it out to a circuit. Passenger cam on Sarge. We're going to make him scream. Easy going to do that. He's going to love it. He'll have a great time.
Scream or be sick?
Well, one or the other.
No, so far so good. So we're looking forward to the next project. Again, let's get pen, paper, think of some ideas. I know you've got something in your head already.
I'll get a mortgage as well. Remortgage my house, and we'll figure things out. But yeah, there's always cool ideas going on. And if you guys are interested at home in sort of doing mad projects, and this is definitely the place to come, because you're going to have a nice thought out experience, and you're going to be treated with respect as well, which I think a lot of garages sort of lack, and I've never felt that here at all. It's always felt like a mutually beneficial thing to come here and sort of work with Sarge. Now this car isn't quite as friendly as the Skull on the road, rear-wheel drive, similar sort of power, but I think it'd be fun to take it out and
yeah, it's a nice
experience power.
wet day. What can go wrong?